The Arkansas Tech University Faculty Awards of Excellence were established in 1996. Selected by a committee of faculty members at the end of each academic year, the awards recognize the best in teaching, scholarly, and creative activities and service at Arkansas Tech. The 2026 Faculty Award of Excellence recipient for scholarly and creative activities is Dr. Mohamed Ibrahim, Professor of Curriculum and Instruction. Dr. Ibrahim, thank you very, very much for making time to visit with us today, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sam.
What was it that drew you to Arkansas Tech to come and join our community here at ATU back in 2011?
Well, there are actually several events came together to bring this moment for me. One of the events was my personal event, which my wife is from Arkansas. Her family has deep roots here in Arkansas. So always when I come to Arkansas, I felt like home in every real sense. Professionally, I was actually working in Tulsa Community College for the last 17 years before that. And before this also I taught in K-12 in Oklahoma. So I reached a point that I would like to do something more impactful. So I decided to look around. The first opportunity came when College of Education and Health, then was College of Education, has an opening for tenure track position to teach instructional technology and design. It was the right next step for myself, and I decided to grab this opportunity. My wife was so happy to go back to Arkansas, and we were able to bring my father-in-law, my mother-in-law to live with us in Russellville.
What is your favorite aspect of Arkansas Tech?
Without a question, the sense of community. When you come to this wonderful campus where everybody knows everybody else, at large universities, you become a number. The students will get lost sometimes. But here, students, we know them by their names, always talk to them, and they feel connected to us as one of our families. This is one of the highlights of Arkansas Tech University to me.
What characteristics do you see in your students here at Arkansas Tech that you most admire?
Well, I came from different backgrounds. I taught in Germany, I taught in North Yemen, and taught also in Oklahoma for a long time. One of the things highlight the students' ability here in Arkansas is resilience. We used to have here also a few years ago the grit concept that everybody here, almost everybody, I'm talking about even College of Education and Health, students are full-time, they have full-time jobs within families, managing finance, and also show up in every classroom. So this shows to me they are not here just for a degree, but they are pushing themselves through the system to make sure that they achieve what the family needs and also what their personal goals are. So therefore, I think resilience is one of the highlights of the students here at Arkansas Tech University.
That concept of resilience is definitely a thread that goes all the way through the story of Arkansas Tech University. As you reflect on the challenges that you observe in your students that they maybe most often face here at Arkansas Tech University, what are some of those challenges and how do you help your students overcome them?
Well, this resilience comes always with some kind of a time crunch and also confidence. Sometimes when you are overwhelmed with a lot of tasks, you feel like I have less time for the task I'm trying to achieve, and also confidence sometimes. Am I doing this right? Am I able to do this? So most of our graduate students are balancing career, families, and coursework. The managing act itself sometimes puts stress on them, and therefore they shut down. But here we try to actually help them to overcome this. The problem is it's not across across everybody, but we try to help individually. This is what the small campus works better for everybody because I can work individually with everyone's students to make sure I'm achieving their goals without compromising their education.
You are our Faculty Award of Excellence winner in scholarly and creative activities this year, and much of your research over the years has centered on the influence of technology in education. What are some of the major questions you have sought to answer with your research on that topic over the years?
Well, this is, Sam, one of the beloved question to me because my research agenda was actually evolved around responses to changes in technology. I always have one overarching question I'm asking myself throughout my career. How do we design technology-enhanced learning environment that actually improve learning and just beyond the novelty of technology? Because sometimes we would jump into new technology without knowing the impact of it on education. But most of the research was how we can use this technology to impact education more than just to use it because it's new. So in my early career, I was working on the video design. This was actually when online learning was expanding and rapidly, and nobody knows if the video generally will improve learning. And I discovered that unless you base the design of the video on cognitive theory of multimedia learning, which from Richard Myers, one of the education psychologists in California, that we have to design the video based on these principles: segmentation, signaling, and weeding the unnecessary component of the video. I found this was very effective, and also I designed a lot of video for myself and also my students. Then I became interested in flipped classroom. Flipped classroom, it means we move the direct teaching outside the classroom, and then the class will become form application and discussion and creation. These are the things which I focus on the first early career, and then jump after this to AI and how the AI can be implemented in the classroom. These are the main three areas I was focusing on in my scholarship.
You know, it feels like technology has been moving faster than evolution for quite some time now. When you reflect back on not just recent times, but the last couple of 100 years of human history, the technology has really been expanding at such a rapid rate. And I wonder a lot about our ability as humans, our brains, to be able to keep pace with our own creations. What do you view as the relationship between the human brain and the technology we must process in order to be teachers, students, and learners in this modern world?
This is really a profound question, and I think it's always, as a researcher and also a professor, very important. The pace of technology, you are absolutely right. It's dramatic and very fast and outpace the biology God gave us. So human brain cannot process a lot of information. If we base the things based on the solid foundational theories like cognitive theory of multimedia learning that we have limited in our brain, we should not just push, again, the novelty of technology without considering our limitation as human beings. So therefore, I am excited, but at the same time, it gives me and my graduate students how to design this learning environment based on the technology available, based on our limitation as well. So therefore, I'm embracing everything new, but also I try to put it in a context of how this will be designed in accordance of the cognitive limitations. And this is what actually drive almost every time I think about new research topic or my students try to design.
You mentioned artificial intelligence a few minutes ago, and it feels like this drumbeat that is just going to drive a lot of the remainder of the 21st century as we sit here in the year 2026. How do you believe AI will influence education for the generations to come?
Oh, absolutely, Sam. I think AI will transform all the education as of now, because genuinely, the AI has potential to personalize almost every single aspect of education. It doesn't replace us. It's just to give us the tools that we will be able to personalize each aspect of teaching to our students. In the old days, we used to have the one who's lucky has a special or private tutor. They can actually work with them. Now with the AI, we can design for every single student something unique for them that can actually matching their abilities. And this is not to replace me. It's just to give them the mechanical part of the teaching, but they need me as a mentor, as a cheerleader, or someone can work with them as a humans. So therefore, it is transformative if we use it right, and we convert the position of the teacher from just mechanical and routine work into some human aspect of the teaching process.
As you reflect back on the years you've had an opportunity to work with students, can you identify your proudest achievement as an educator? This
is really honest, good question to me, but honestly, it's difficult for me to choose one over another. But what I thought, the deeply proud, one thing from all these publications, it's the achievement I'm watching my students to go into the field. This is bigger than any single publication or scholarship, because you work in education and you feel like impacting students in every aspect of their life. This is the goal of my teaching, not the scholarship. I'm not after my own personal gain, but I'm seeing the teaching profession as an impactful career, not just to create or accumulate some of the achievement. So therefore, the biggest achievement for me, seeing my students go into the classroom, impacting several people around them as well. Now, talking about the research, absolutely, I have a lot of nice research has been reached, actually, hundreds of countries across the globe. And also one of the biggest thing I feel also dear to me, which is the Gear Up grant, which have been granted the biggest amount of money, $6.1 million, to impact peoples in River Valley. This is one of the, again, it's not about the money, it's about to impact peoples around us. And therefore, it is the impactful of the research, teaching, and also the money we put in back in the community to impact every single one of our members.
Well, and that Gear Up grant right now is making a big difference in the lives of 7th and 8th grade students in the Russellville and Clarksville school districts. And as we go through these next 4 to 5 years, I can't wait to see how that, all that leads to for those students and the opportunities that it will create. To wrap it up, Dr. Ibrahim, I was just curious, what does it mean to you to win the ATU Faculty Award of Excellence in scholarly creative activities and scholarly pursuits?
As a matter of fact, I am so deeply grateful for Arkansas University to accept me first to be a professor here. This, for me, was a transformative aspect in my life, but also the support of every single one, faculty and staff and administration. Without their support, I traveled actually across the globe to present my work, because they support me. And this is why I feel this excellent award is really for everybody supported me, worked for me, and every single one administration who supported me to be able to publish and bring about change around us.
That is Dr. Mohamed Ibrahim, Faculty Award of Excellence winner at Arkansas Tech University for the year 2026. Until next time, so long, everybody.